Hey team. Right, week 3 of our home-based training program. So tonight we just have some basic changes to the warm-up and to the skill work. So for the warm-up, you should have a handle on that by now. So we're going to look at a couple of changes in terms of the upper body stuff. We're going to keep working on building up to a minute with our eyes closed, because I imagine some of you are probably finding that harder than you thought it might be. Then with the crow and the L-sit, we're going to look at some basic ways we can make it harder, but also some things that you can use if you feel like you're stuck a little bit. So the first one for our warm-up, we're going to look at our pushing prep, which is our prep for our push-up. And also, remember last week we started looking at a possible progression of working on the one arm type push-up. So we're going to work that one arm into our warm-up here. So to start with, what we would do is we just come onto hands and knees. We were just doing this action, coming up and down. So now we're going to take this opposite hand. You can keep it out here or here, and we do the same thing. So with this shoulder here, same thing. You see my elbow stays locked. I bring the rib cage down to the floor, and then we push the rib cage away. If you feel like you're strong enough, you can come into top plank and you can do the same thing. And this will really help prep you for that one arm variation. So that's our addition for push-ups. We go one arm pushing prep in our first round, and we either go on one hand both knees or one hand both feet. Then for our dip shrugs, where we're holding on the floor or on a step and lifting our shoulders up and down, I've got these stools. Now you might just use chairs at home. We don't have chairs, we've just got stools here. With the stools, what we're going to do is our hands come onto the stools, we just go in between, and we were going up and down. This week we're going to add forward and back. So here we're going to go 5 reps forward and back, 5 reps up and down, and then we're going to go 5 circles in each direction. Okay, now that's harder than it looks. So with our shoulder blades, we're creating a circle like that with the arms locked, but our hands are pushing into the chairs. It looks easy. It might be a bit of a brain tease for you. So those are the simple additions to the warm-up. Then we go through the middle of the workout, so we stick to the changes we made last week and we get to our skill work. With the skill work, we've got the crow and the L-sit. So with the L-sit, if you were struggling with the L-sit, remember I said you could do it on a step and you could just work on holding with one foot on the ground and lifting. What you'll find is if you use chairs, the chairs will allow your hips to sit down here, and you can just work on holding yourself up. So you could keep your knees down, and then once you feel like you're getting strong enough, you can lift them up. So you can see here my hips are down below the level of the chair. So that's the assistance you get. If you feel like you can get these hips up, the first goal is to get them up and forward so that they would be higher than the level of the ground. To help with that, we can do a little swing. And you can just start to get used to moving your hips up into that position where we want to hold. So that's our L-sit work. So we just start holding, and then if you feel like you're strong enough, you can go for the swings to get your hips up where they need to be, or you can just work on holding with your hips down. You'll still develop a lot of strength around in your shoulder girdle and around your back, the strength that you need to pull. Remember, that's a pulling exercise. Your arms are pulling you back to lift your hips up and forward. And then our last one's a crow hold. So with the crow, remember our elbows went into the fold between the knee and the calf and the thigh, hamstring. And we were just working on getting into this position, possibly doing this with the feet, or for some of you, you may have found that you were able to hold. Okay? A little cheat. Now, one of the things that happens is when you start to get into this position where you get the hold, you might get a little bit of fear about falling forward. So, if you have a couple of books on hand, what that allows you to do is do your crow, and then if you fall forward, you can just headbutt the books. So that allows you to get your balance. And one of the things that falling forward allows you to do is find the tipping point. The more comfortable you are with finding the tipping point, the better you are at controlling it when you get there and stopping yourself from going into it. So that's for some of you that are just starting to get that balance, is working on the balance, down to books, back to balance, is a great little exercise to work on controlling that tipping forward. Now, if you're finding that you're nailing the crow and you're up to about 30 seconds for your hold, what you can do is we can start to look at putting the knee up towards the armpit. Okay, so you'll see this sort of crow hold is done more in yoga, where we get into this position, we tuck right up with the knees and we hold here. So what you can start doing with this one is you might find it's quite hard to get your knees up into here. That flexibility comes from this one that we were working on. So if you don't have that, it's okay. You're going to keep working on this forward bend flexibility. So what you might find is that your knees just sit here to start with, just at the base of the elbow, and that's okay. And then you can go back to this, just like the way you learned to do this crow here. It's exactly the same. So start to have a play with that. If you're hitting 30-second holds on that lower crow, we can come up to the higher crow. The elbow is going to sit just forward of the knee. Start with that. Once you feel like you can get right into there, have a play. It's fun. That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a bit of play, some fun skills where you get to test yourself. At the end of your session, you should still have some gas left. Things will be a little bit harder, but we'll look at changing that soon, where we start to do our skills and refresher. But at the moment, we stick to the same strategy. We warm up, we do the body strength work in the middle, and then we finish with our skills. Good luck with it, team. I hope it's all going well. Stick to the plan. Hopefully not too much longer in lockdown, and we'll be able to get back into the gym and outside, training outside, also all those things that we used to love doing. It's not far away.